and welcome to the Work in Progress podcast with me, your host, Colleta Macharia. I'm a life coach and author of the book, How to Design Your Career Game Plan. There is a saying that goes like this: one man's meat is another man's poison. And this is true in many cases, and especially when it comes to cultures of the world. Something might be acceptable in one culture, and it is a taboo in another culture. For example, where I come from, burping is considered rude, especially burping after a meal while you're still at the table. Actually, only babies are allowed to burp after feeding. There are some places in the world where burping after a meal is a compliment to the chef. It shows that you're satisfied and you enjoyed the food if you burp after eating it. And if you don't, the host will take it that you didn't enjoy the meal. And so that's a way of giving feedback. That's a way of letting the host know that the meal was good, or letting them, figure that you didn't like it. So I wonder when that kind of feedback comes, like if people have eaten a meal and nobody has burped. I don't know what the host does in a situation like that. But anyway, coming back to generally offering feedback and offering critique, we've talked about an effective way to offer critique in a manner that leaves the person feels like they have been shown grace. And so today I would like to look at when you are the recipient of feedback, when you are the recipient of critique, what do you do then? And this is how I like to look at it. I see critique and feedback as a way to help me lift myself to that higher place. And so using the acronym LIFT. Of course, you knew there was an acronym coming, right? So using the acronym LIFT, this is how I look at it. So when you are the recipient of feedback or critique, listen to the person. Listen without interrupting. Listen with the intention not to defend yourself, but to really hear what it is that this person is sharing with you that needs improvement, or, where you did well. After listening, then inquire. In case there are things that were not clear, let them clarify. For example, sometimes I hear people say, at the end of a training, I learned a lot. Or at the end of a conversation, I learned a lot. And I don't leave it at that. I like to follow up and ask, can you tell me one or two things that you took away, that you learned? Or can you tell me what new awareness you came to in that conversation that we had? Now that helps this person to reflect on the specific things that they took away. So inquiring for clarity is helpful. Next, focus on what you can change. There is really no use of spending your bandwidth or your mind space on things that you cannot change. So after clarifying, then just focus on what can be changed and actually find a way to act on it. And finally, thank the person who gave you that feedback, because that is data, that is information that when you take and reflect and act upon it, is going to leave you in a better place than you were before you received it. And so there it is. Lift yourself with the feedback that you receive. Have a beautiful week and see you on the next episode. The Work Work in Progress podcast is brought to you by Cogent Afrique. Visit www.cogentafrique.com to check out learning and development opportunities for you, your team, organization, and family.